Hey folks, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review for the John Candy Marathon. And this time it is Uncle Buck. Reason I'm not showing the DVD is it's part of a 3-pack and it doesn't have the picture or anything. It'll just say Uncle Buck in letters. It's a 3-pack with Uncle Buck, The Great Outdoors, and Going Berserk. And after I did my review for The Great Outdoors, I looked on Amazon and yes, The Great Outdoors and Uncle Buck are on Blu-ray. No features, but I answered my own question, like, are these films on Blu-ray? Yes, those two are. So one day I want to pick those up, because The Great Outdoors is a lot of fun. I would say somewhat underrated, and this is a classic. In fact, when I was doing the marathon of reviews for John Candy, the question I would get asked the most is, am I going to review Uncle Buck? And I'm thinking, yeah, of course I'm going to review Uncle Buck. It's a very fun movie. John Candy does a great job. A lot of laugh-out-loud moments. You have a young Macaulay Culkin, which after this would do Home Alone, which became such a huge hit. Home Alone I'm going to wait until down the road when I review all the films. Because if I reviewed the first one, then I have to review all the sequels. And that'll go off track for the John Candy Marathon. And it's one of the last films directed by John Hughes. And I know after this he did Curly Sue and he never directed it again. And I don't know why. I know Curly Sue was a flop, critically and commercially, but was that why? Was he just burned out? Does the flop of Curly Sue affect him so much that he didn't want to direct again? I guess I don't really get that, because he was on a roll making great movies and hits. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think Weird Science was a hit. I mean, I love the movie. This was a hit. In fact, the John Candy films that came out in '89, I mean, one was Speed Zone, aka Cannonball Fever, that no one remembers. It might as well go on direct to video. I don't. You had Who's Harry Crumb didn't do too well. It only made $10 million. And then you have this film, which made a lot of money. And if you're wondering why I'm typing, I'm trying to find out how much money did it make. Because it says $79 million. I want to make sure that's in the US or worldwide. It made $66 million in the US, $12 million foreign, for a total of $79 million worldwide. So it only had a $15 million budget. So $15 million budget, you make $66 million in the US. That's pretty damn good. And again, like John Candy, this was a hit he needed because, like I was saying, Speed Zone, aka Cannonball Fever, did absolutely nothing when it came out. I mean, it made $3 million when it came out in April. $3 million. It opened at number 10. And you had Who's Harry Crumb that only made $10 million. And this made a lot more. So after saying all that, yeah, I don't know why John Hughes stopped directing after Curly Sue. I'm like, were there other reasons? But Curly Sue, I remember being so-so. You know, it's not. I don't think it's awful. It's just there. I know John Hughes would continue to write. He would write on stuff like the Dennis the Menace movie, Baby's Day Out. I think he even worked on films like Flubber, among other stuff. I think the 101 Dalmatians live-action movie, I could be wrong. Something like that. But he never directed again after Curly Sue, and that's too bad. So, really, this is the last great film he directed. And the plot is very simple. You have these 3 kids. You have a sort of a bitchy, almost emo teenage girl. You have a young boy played by Macaulay Culkin. And then you have a younger girl who I think is Gaby Hoffmann, who would go on to be in films like Volcano, which I love that movie with Tom Lee Jones, among other stuff. And their mom and dad, they've just moved to Chicago. They didn't want to move. Mainly the teenage girl didn't want to move, and she's pissed off. and she's angry. And she's like, well, why do we have to move and all this shit? So she's having an attitude. But one thing leads to another. They do have a phone call that the grandfather, the mom's dad, had a heart attack. So they need someone to watch the kids. And so they get the dad's brother, Uncle Buck. And Buck is with a girl who wants a family, but he has to work for her at her place. Uncle Buck is a guy who smokes cigars. He has his trench coat. He has this fucked up piece of shit car that when it stops, it creates this almost shotgun blast of noise that scares the shit out of people. He's trying to do the best that he can, but he messes up. He gambles. But he's got a good heart to him as well. So they get him, and it's pretty much him taking care of these 3 kids and dealing with the teenage girls, giving them grief, while the younger kids grow to pretty quickly to like Buck. And it's easy to see why. Honestly, any of us would want this guy as an uncle. Any of us. You know, I want an Uncle Buck. I would love an Uncle Buck. And I know this film was a hit because they made some shitty TV show that lasted like two seconds, maybe 5 seconds. I mean, and didn't they try to do a TV show again? I might be wrong. Or like they're trying to do a remake, or I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, they did a TV show and show that like no one fucking remembers. But John Candy shines in this film. You know, when he wakes up, he uses the clapper. You know, one of those that do this and the light goes on. He's driving there and he can't remember some of the kids' names. When he gets there, he went to the wrong house. He's like, the hell? Where is everybody? And his brother's got to come out. Buck! Buck! Over here! Well, come on, man. All these houses look the same. You know, didn't you hear me calling? There's one moment where he drops his plate. And it's like, it didn't break. It's unbreakable. Huh. And then he hits it again and he fucking smashes in his hand. He's like, shit! You got, he's cooking. He's talking to Macaulay Culkin, who's asking all these questions. And also saying that, hey, you have more nose hair than my dad. And John Candy's like, thanks for noticing. And Macaulay Culkin goes, I'm a kid. That's my job. And I can see why someone would look at Macaulay Culkin and say, that kid can star in a movie, which will lead to Home Alone. Because Macaulay Culkin, I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I mean, sadly enough, as a kid, he's a better actor than he is grown up. I don't know what the deal is. At least the stuff I've seen, I should say that. But I'm like, as a kid, he had a bit of charm. I don't even mind The Good Son. Richie Rich, I haven't seen forever. I want to give a watch again. But I know those films, I think, didn't do too well. But man, I guess it's those drugs or whatever later on fucked him up. But you just see that Macaulay Culkin had a talent. And I don't think he's as bad as Edward Furlong and how far gone he is, but maybe it's one of those things I gotta see more of Macaulay Culkin's recent work. So I might eat my words on that. Like when I talk about his acting. But just the little stuff I've seen, it seemed like he was a better actor as a kid, but you know, I could be absolutely wrong on that. But you know, the kids work well. I mean, the teenage girl, she's supposed to be bitchy. So it's like, I can't say she did a bad job. But it was to the point that I really started to hate her guts. To the point of, you know, I hope you go off a cliff. Because this is a movie, it's not real life. But she was so bitchy that I'm like, I'm waiting for Uncle Buck to just smother her with a pillow or something. I know that's mean, but I did not like her at all, and I didn't really buy her change at the end. I didn't buy her, because I saw her so long as this bitchy woman just treating everybody like shit, that I just don't care what's happening to her. I'm like, fine. You want to be a dipshit? Be a dipshit. I know that's wrong of me to think, but that's my honest opinion on it. So it's not like, oh, I care about her. I care about Buck. And if Buck cares about her, then it's like, okay, well, I'll do it just because you do, Buck. Because John Candy's so likable in this movie. Extremely likable. But, like, there's a scene where the teenage bitch is with her new boyfriend. And the boyfriend's like, you ever hear of a tune-up? Talking about his car. And then John Candy's like, you ever hear of ritual killing? I love that. It's one of my favorite lines. And then he like tells the teenage girl, you know, you give me more guff. Maybe your crazy uncle will shave your head while you're sleeping. Ooh. He takes the kids bowling. He makes this gigantic, big fuck off pancake for one of the kids. I think their birthday. And then there's also supposed to be a clown for the birthday, but he's drunk. And that shows that Uncle Buck is a good guy. He's like, nah, you shouldn't do that. You're drinking. And he gives the guy shit. And Candy isn't going to take it. Just punches the shit out of that clown. It's like, whoa, like 2 times. Fuck your clowns. And you have the staring the boyfriend again. It's like, you know, I think I got a hatchet. And maybe I'll take a little off the shoulder, or maybe the kneecap. You know, you'd be squashed like a bug. Wait, because I think the boyfriend's name is Nat. I think that was the name of his Nat or something. So wait, Bug? Nat? Wow, what's the coincidence? You know what? I'll show you my hatchet. And the teenage girl's like, he's bluffing, and he opens up the trunk. Here you go. You want to get up close look? Maybe later. I know it's sad. I'm laughing at. It's not sad because John Candy does an excellent job, and it's some fun writing by John Hughes. He did a good job too. And there's also a nice moment at the school after you realize he's got to get rid of the cigar, and gets rid of it in the bathroom. He's got to take a piss, but it's one of those small urinals, and he's trying to fit in there. And he talks to like the principal or something of that nature as this big old mole, and she's this bitch who's like, oh, you're the little girl Gaby Hoffmann. She's a dreamer and a silly heart. She doesn't take things seriously. And John Candy's saying, but she's 6-year-old. I wouldn't trust a 6-year-old that didn't have dreams. You know, maybe I'll take a quarter and have a rat and all that mole off your face. And just gives her the riot act, and that's pretty damn funny. He microwaves clothes because he can't get the dryer to work. He has girlfriend troubles because she wanted him to work with her, but he had to get out of it, and she's pissed off. And then the teenage bitch fucks with his girlfriend and gives her some lies. So it makes it think like John Candy's sleeping around when he's not, that he's cheating on his girlfriend when he's not. Actually, no, I think the boyfriend's name is Bug. I think I got that mixed up. Who gives a shit? Now that I think his boyfriend's name is Bug. Which, I mean, if anyone's named Bug, you do want to punch him in the face. So I don't blame John Candy for it. But yeah, the team went to the boyfriend, and John Candy has his chance where he can go to the racetrack and win enough money for the whole year. But yeah, it shows a bit of drama for John Candy. I've said this before, I'll say it again. He could have done drama. What we see in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, what we see in Only the Lonely, bits in here. just the look on his face of worry. He was looking at the younger kids, and he makes the right choice, finds the party. The girl's not there. The boyfriend's with another girl. And he broke in the door using this drill. He finds the girl walking and crying, and she tells him that you were right all along. And he has the boyfriend Bud in the trunk and has a drill in it, scares the shit out of him. The guy goes, I'll sue you. And John Candy gets these golf balls and starts hitting him in the face. And it's just that, again, I know that was the journey of the character. It's just, I don't know if I really liked the teenage girl. I don't think she's a bad actress. I think she played what she was supposed to play. It's just, I disliked her so much that by the time it's supposed to change, I couldn't really do it. I couldn't really like her. And I couldn't really buy her change. Because it's just, she's walking, crying, she talks a little bit to John Candy, and all of a sudden I'm like, I don't buy this. I buy John Candy, I don't really buy this change in your character. I mean, maybe if she had a bit more of a fight and had like like a longer conversation, like a shouting match, and then turn to a crying match, and then like just letting everything out or something. I don't know. I'm sure that's just me, but I mean you just say that's a nitpick or whatever. It's again my thoughts on it. It doesn't have to be yours. But she changes, and when the mom comes home, she hugs her mom, and everything's fine. But then John Candy actually drops all this whole thing of pots from the ceiling. He gets back with his girlfriend. They go off. And well done music. I like the music in the film. I like the song at the end. Of course, I forgot what the hell the song was. But the music by Ira Newborn, I thought it was a good score. Ira Newborn would do... I want to make sure... Oh, she worked on Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Okay, Weird Science. Let's see, after this. Ace Ventura Pet Detective. Okay. And Mallrats. Cool. I like that. Especially like the score to Ace Ventura Pet Detective. But this is a good score. I forgot what the hell that song was at the end of the film. Okay, yeah, there was another TV series. Yeah. In 1990, there was a TV series with Kevin Meaney. And then in 2016, there was an ABC TV series with Mike Epps. Okay, so I wasn't fucking going crazy. Yeah, it lasted a whole fucking 8 episodes. Cancelled quickly. Because people didn't want that shit. And like, we're gonna reboot Uncle Buck, but instead of a fat white guy, it's a thin black guy. Yay! It didn't work when you had a fat white guy. It doesn't work if you have a thin black guy. You know why none of it works? Because you don't need to reboot Uncle Buck in any way. Doesn't need to be a remake. Doesn't need to be a fucking TV series. If people want to watch Uncle Buck, then go find fucking Uncle Buck on DVD or Blu-ray. Dude, I'm just tired of this reboot, remake bullshit. I'm not going to get on that rant. It'd be a fucking big tangent. But Uncle Buck has a good heart to it. John Candy does a fantastic job. He's very funny. A lot of very wonderful lines of dialogue, whether he's giving the teacher the riot act, or doing stuff like making those giant pancakes, or he's such a lovable guy. He's an uncle any one of us would like to have, because he's there for you at the end. Yeah, he has little foils and little flaws, and He screws up every once in a while, but he's a good guy, had a good heart, very likable character, and the very fun film, well directed by John Hughes, good script. I like the song at the end credits. I like the musical score throughout. It went at a good pace. I never got bored with it. Again, my only little nitpick is the teenage girl. I never didn't really buy her switch from bitch to yeah. I didn't buy 100%, but that's just me. I know I'm alone in that. But that doesn't ruin the film for me at all, because I was watching for John Candy, and John Candy does a great job. The kids, especially Macaulay Culkin definitely has a charm, and for a kid, he's not annoying, he's not aggravating, he's not irritating, and that can be hard to have a kid that doesn't do that. But Macaulay Culkin was one of those kids I was never annoyed by him, those early movies he did. Hell, I remember him from Jacob's Ladder and the bit parts he had in that, which came out in 1990. I love Jacob's Ladder to death, and he does good in the Home Alone films, 1 and 2. He does a good job in The Good Son. Richie Rich, I remember him not being bad. I remember him being decent in that. So yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else. It's a damn good film. Uncle Buck is a classic, and it doesn't need to be messed with. It's like we don't, sometimes you don't need to. Do your own shit. And then people will come up with, well, it's okay because there's been some good ones in the past. Yeah, it has become fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer in between. Fewer good movies. Fewer good reboots, remakes. Actually, I mean all of it. Fuck it. Anyway, again, I don't want to go on that tangent. Uncle Buck, very funny movie, great comedy, and in the last great John Hughes film. And is it the last great John Candy film? I really love Nothing But Trouble, and I really enjoy Cool Runnings. But as a star of the film, it's the last great John Candy film. Because Nothing But Trouble, he's more of a supporting player. Same with Cool Runnings, he's more of a support for the 4 Jamaican bobsled team members. Because Delirious and Only the Lonely, they're okay, and Canadian Bacon and Whiting's Easter, pieces of trash, and so yeah, for a starring role, this is John Candy's great farewell, in a way. Because he was starring other films, but they were okay, or they were really good, but he's in the supporting role, or they're, again, pieces of shit like Canadian Bacon, Wagons East. But watching this again, been a long time. Just like I felt when I was Summer Rental, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, The Great Outdoors. Man, I miss this guy. I really do. And he gave us a great character. Uncle Buck is a great character. And that was the fun of watching this again. If you haven't seen Uncle Buck in a while, same with The Great Outdoors or Summer Rental or Armed and Dangerous and so forth, give him a watch. Bring a smile to your face. So, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.